All right, we are asked often about what is a good option for a bedroom to give a good dark night's sleep. There are two main recommendations we have, and then one twist on one of those recommendations. I'm going to walk you through both of those. This is a very visual question. It's really hard to describe this just in text, so I wanted to give some photos here. The two initial recommendations we always offer are either a roller shade or a honeycomb shade. This one is a roller shade. Now, with any kind of shade, you are always going to have some light gap or light seepage. So if you look along the edge of the window, you can see, especially on the right side here, you can see a little bit of light sticking out. This photo here gives an even better indication of that. This is a honeycomb. I'll give you a close-up in a second, but you can see there's some light coming around the sides. The shade on its own, without any augmentation, that will always happen, always. Why? Well, because there is going to be a bit of a gap between the edge of the inside of the window and the fabric itself. There's nothing we have some solutions for it, but the shade itself, there's nothing you can do to change that. For most people, this is dark enough. They're like, whoa, this is a huge improvement, and this is sufficient. This here is a honeycomb, and you can see it's pretty darn dark. It's got that light gap, but it's pretty darn dark. This here is also a honeycomb. There was a flash from the camera, so that's why it appears kind of light, but again, you can see that light leakage around the side. Let me find a roller shade where we can also see the light leakage. Well, we'll get to it. One of the things you can do to reduce that light leakage is what's called an outside mount. This shade here, this is a roller shade, and it is on the outside of the window, which allows us to go a little bit wider than the window itself, all the way to the end of the molding. And that will help. It will not remove the light leakage. There'll still be some light at night that comes through on the side, but it will help significantly. If your windows are quite square, which is rare, to be honest, the honeycomb shade, by default, is the best option for blocking the light. Why is that? Well, there is less of what's called a deduction. So the width of the top part of a honeycomb shade is the same as, or almost the same as, the width of the fabric itself. So it can go almost the full span of the window. That is not true of the roller shade. It's not a defect of the roller shade. It's just how it's made. There's going to be a bit of, let's see if I can find one. There's going to be a bit of a difference. You can see here the top treatment goes a little bit wider than the shade itself. Okay, so honeycomb, roller shade, largely a stylistic preference. If you want the best light blockage out of the gate, go with the honeycomb. What can we do to augment that? We can add what's called Lightguard. Lightguard is a thin piece that we would put to the left and the right of the window to help guard against the light. It's not going to give you a full blackout. This one here has Lightguard, if I remember correctly. So there's still going to be some light leakage, but it will be less. Okay, what if you're like, hey, I don't want any light at all. If there's any light coming through, I can't sleep. We do have a solution for that. It's going to be a roller shade with what's called the Lightguard 360. And what that is essentially a channel or a side channel, I guess is the best word, that goes along the edges to cover that gap. So the fabric here sits inside of the side channel, blocking any of the potential seepage. Additionally, the top treatment is made specific for this solution because you'll also have some light leakage around the top. The Lightguard 360 roller shade, the top treatment is a particular cassette specifically engineered, designed to block any light gap from the top. This person, we didn't install these curtains on the sides. They just had those. They liked them. we added the Lightguard. So it's unfortunate you can't fully see the sides here. That's why we have these close-ups underneath. But this person wanted, well, the husband, she didn't care. The husband wanted complete darkness. So the Lightguard 360 was the option here. So again, Honeycomb, if you just need it darker, Honeycomb is a great way to go. It is one of the more affordable options anyway. Roller shade with blackout or room darkening fabric is another option, great option, and both of those will do a pretty good job. Price wise, a room darkening Honeycomb and a room darkening roller shade are pretty close to the same cost. The roller shade will be slightly more. And if you want completely blacked out, go with the Lightguard 360. That is a premium option. I don't recall how much more, but obviously if you call us and want to talk numbers, we can get that for you. Hope that is helpful in making your decision. Reach out with any questions you have.